Hey guys, I want to go over how to adjust your daily training. As we always talk about, my goal is that this is about 90 to 95% done for you. That doesn't mean I've done 90% of it, it's 100% done for you, but that there are things you're going to want to do in your facility to make it fit exactly what you want. What we're providing is obviously the heavy lifting of the cycle, of the daily format, of the lesson plan, of the explanation, of the science behind it, of the reasoning we're doing this and how it all fits. And there's still little tweaks you want to do? Absolutely. I want to go over what some of the most common questions are and ways we see that adjusting the training to fit your facility the best are. The first thing I say is try and stay within the daily plan or the cycle focus is best. That means if today's day is aerobic power and yesterday was lactic endurance, let's say, really hard, nasty piece, and you want to put Fran in somewhere, you just have this urge like, we just have to do Fran, my favorite workout in the world. I would say, cool, probably do it on the lactic endurance day, not the aerobic power day. It'll fit a little better. Also, that would be on the daily focus. Also within the cycle focus, look at where we're going, and we explain that on the monthly videos and on the daily videos and weekly videos of what's happening. I would try and make those things fit. So that means that if it's, you want to do Fran this day, the aerobic power day might be a great day to do Kelly now, right? To make that fit there. Start retesting a bunch of open workouts that may not fit the cycle right now. That might be something we want to do closer to the start of the year where you're like, oh, I see Tim has 11.1. We want to do 12.4. Great. Those are both, I don't remember what 12.4 is. We all know 11.1. Power snatch double unders, right? Second thing, that's kind of on the macro level of just, you want to adjust the workout. Try and keep within the daily focus and the cycle focus is best. Sometimes it doesn't happen. It's still CrossFit. You can still come back and play tomorrow. Number two is reduce sets before reps, right? If we say A times 6 and it's going to be 5 reps each, and let's say it's a time constraint, going A times 6 to 4 reps each still takes about the same time. But if you say we're going to do A times 5, we'll save you a few minutes there. That's something that you say, hey, we want to spend a little more time on technique here. We want to spend a little more time on mobility in the warm-up. That's totally appropriate, and that happens all the time. Reduce sets first before reps, okay? The second thing I would say is remove the optional part of the workouts. And I'll say optional, I put that in quotes. Here's how I would adjust these. Again, if it's A1 and A2, you might just, let's say A1 is power clean and A2 is handstand push-ups or seated press. Let's just say that for example. I would just choose one of those to do. Hey, we're just going to do power cleans. A times 5, power cleans. If you don't want to do the superset, all good. Know that the programming will still work. We're probably doing some upper body pushing in the conditioning piece as well, so they're still going to get some. They may not get that absolute strength gain. If you still wanted both, right? Let's say you still wanted power cleans and seated press, I would drop it to A times 5 or A times 4 if you wanted both, right? But if you don't, you say, hey, I want to keep just one part. I would say A1/A2 superset becomes just A. The second thing that'll happen, some days, especially when we do Oli lifting, it might be, let's say, squat cleans or especially snatches. We do power snatch, A times 5 power snatch for a set of 3, building up, right? We will work on an accessory part of the lift after it. So it might say B times 3 snatch extension for 5 reps. Because I believe people are going to need extra work, not on the whole lift, but because those lifts are so complex, they need to isolate parts of them and build more. So that means we're probably not doing a ton on A, might be 5 sets, 6 sets, and then a couple sets of accessory pulls. If that accessory pull part, that's usually a part B or a part C, goes too long, I would just take that out and just say A times 5 power snatch. Instead of A times 5 power snatch, B times 3 snatch extension. Now as training, I know it works great, but we also have the class. You might have a big group of beginners coming in. Cool, if that's the case and there's no one that can really snatch, I would probably then, just focus on movement parts of the fitness training that's going to be working on the snatch development techniques there. But hopefully that makes sense to remove the optional parts of the training. The next part, we do a lot of intervals in our training. I hope I spelled interval right. I look at these and sometimes I cringe. Right? I would change the intervals to an AMRAP because that's going to make the time confined of how you want it. Now let's say generally the longer intervals are lactic or they're going to be aerobic power in nature. So it might be 5 minutes on, 2 minutes off times 3 sets. We might just chunk that down to a 12-minute AMRAP, right? That might be a 15-minute AMRAP, take out some of the rest. But to make sure it's still aerobic, we want to give them markers within the training to say, hey, every round I want exactly the same, right? That's what you want. You just don't want intervals, you want that. I would go intervals, change it to an AMRAP. For lactic power, you might go, hey, so instead of doing, minute on, 2 minutes off, you might just go, hey, we're just doing a 3-minute workout as hard as you can today. Yeah, it's a little more of a tester. Yeah, sure. Might save you some time on the front end if you want to go, again, more skill development, mobility, etc. But that'll be how you adjust that part. Next question, number 5, is what do you record? You can record really whatever you want to record. It's your gym. It's you look at this and say, hey, here's what I value the most, and that's fine by me. Now, what I think it generally should be is the things that we say for quality. We'll say for quality, or it's, Hollow Rock, really hard to record that. They were awesome. We can do relative perceived exertion if you want to. That's fine, but we might do Hollow Rock with, let's say, weighted pull-up or a power clean. I would probably record the load on that, on the power clean or the weighted pull-up, and not the Hollow Rock. So you don't need to write everything. If we do a single leg lateral lunge for structure, just kind of bodybuilding type work, and alignment, I don't know if you need to record that or not. You absolutely can. Sometimes it gets crazy putting these things into the computer systems. They're not so easy to work with, so I understand that. Record the most important parts. And then for conditioning, I usually give examples what I want, for time, rounds completed. If it's intervals, it might say your fastest time or your lowest time. I'll usually explain what I would want them to do, but that's up to you really of what you want to record, which brings me to the final part, the final say. Still your gym. Our goal again is to get this 90-95% done, do all the heavy lifting, help explain it to the coaches, help make sure that you know how to express this to your members, because that's the value, is in you explaining it to the people and that trust you and that come to your gym for your coaching, your guidance, your expertise, your hands-on care, love, and long-term planning for them. We want to come help with the lifting of that and make sure you have more time to do that with your members. So if you say, hey, this workout, I know it says Russian kettlebell swings, we want to do dumbbell power snatch, go for it. We want to, instead of a 100-meter shuttle run, we want to do a sandbag carry. Awesome. You have the final say. Adjust that. We have thick programming skin. There are some days you just go, hey, I see that, I see what they're going for, shoulder endurance. Let's just do strict press instead of this. All good, I get it. It's still your gym. I know you guys still know what you're doing. We're happy to be helping you do that more efficiently and give time back to your weekly life and to handle everything your members need for their progressions and their long-term health and fitness. And so that's how it works. Any other questions? Let me know.